Hey everyone. For those of you who are new, I'm Josh, and in this video I want to discuss why you shouldn't take your anger or frustration out on the people you care about. This is an incredibly common behavior because a lot of people out there, unfortunately, are really bad at managing their emotions. A lot of people never learn how to control their emotions properly because many people, unfortunately, don't have parents who know how to manage their emotions properly, so their parents don't teach them. And then we all know the school system does not teach you how to manage your emotions either. So a lot of people go from childhood to adulthood without ever learning how to manage their emotions properly, which means when someone is impacted by an emotion, they will likely act out on that emotion immediately. They will take that emotion out on the world around them. This is why you'll have people who you just met at a grocery store or something, and they'll be really rude to you. And then maybe if you take a few minutes talking to them to get to know them a bit better, you may find out that they calm down and they're suddenly really friendly to you. That's because that's someone who's likely a bit stressed out. They don't know how to deal with that stress, so they're going to be rude to the world until finally someone shows them that kindness and empathy that they need, and then they're able to calm down a bit and be their usual, hopefully good self. Well, the same thing applies to us, of course, whenever we're frustrated or angry. So it's in your own best interest to learn how to manage your emotions, to take those deep breaths when you're feeling them so that you don't act on them. Because the last thing you want to do is allow your anger or frustration to permanently damage a relationship with someone you really care about. I've witnessed this my entire life while growing up, sometimes with my own family members and sometimes with my friends, and it has always been really unfortunate because these are people I care about, right? And every time it happens, I always think, this isn't worth it. Like, it's not worth it for people to let their frustration or anger permanently damage a relationship with someone that's close to them. And I've done this, of course. I'm not perfect. I've done this myself while growing up. I've even done it as an adult. I've even done it a few weeks ago because it's something that's a practice, something that you need to keep constantly reminding yourself of so you can manage your emotions better and remind yourself to not take them out on the people around you. It's more especially important when they aren't the cause of those emotions. It is a bit more tricky to do this when someone is triggering you and they're not doing anything to try to mitigate the conflict or anything like that, and now it's on you to try to be the bigger person. That's tough. But I more so mean the situations where you're frustrated from your life in general. Maybe you're unhappy with your life situation. Maybe you don't like your job or the place you're living. Maybe you don't like your relationship, or maybe you're just going through a rough patch with it. And that can easily impact you in such a way that now you're going to have less patience with the people you really care about. In those instances, make sure you strive to remind yourself, do not take your emotions out on the people around you, the people who aren't even responsible for you feeling the way that you do, right? It's unfair to them. They didn't cause those emotions for you. So if you were to be rude to them over it, or mean to them, or even short with them and have no patience with them, well, that's really unfair and uncool. And it can permanently impact the relationship with them. To preserve your relationships, let people know when you're frustrated or angry or dealing with some other heavy emotion and that they aren't the reason for it. Communication is huge when it comes to repairing or maintaining relationships with the people you really care about. So communicate. Let them know when you're not feeling so great and tell them that you need some space in order to calm down or get back to your baseline mood before you interact with them. That's a very conscious way of moving forward without letting your emotions get in the way of the relationships with the people you really care about. It's so important to get to that place where you can manage your emotions better. And one trick for doing that is, as I said earlier in the video, to just take a few deep breaths when you feel yourself getting triggered by something, or even when you're dealing with a lot of stress or anxiety or anything like that. Do something that you really enjoy, something that can hopefully help you de-stress a little bit, and then go out there and interact with the people you care about. Or if you are really being impacted by that stress and anxiety, go seek professional help. Get a therapist or someone who can give you tips and tricks to hopefully manage your emotions a bit better, or at least figure out the cause of your stress and anxiety and what you can do about it. It can be very difficult to try to get through these things on your own, so professional help is always a great route to go down, but I understand that not everyone will be able to do that because unfortunately it is a somewhat expensive option, so hopefully your insurance covers it. If not, well, there are a lot of resources that are free online that you can look up. You can also just practice giving yourself a space between stimulus and response. The stimulus being whatever it is that's triggering your emotions, and then you acting on those emotions, your response to those emotions. We always have a choice, even though it doesn't feel like it. When we're feeling an emotion, we can choose whether or not we act on it. So choose not to. Take a few deep breaths, ground yourself in the present moment, and remind yourself that you do not want to take those emotions out on people around you, especially if they didn't cause those emotions within you. That's really unfair to them, as I've already said, so don't do it. Take the mature route and opt to preserve your strong relationships with the people you care about. Do not risk losing that over temporary emotions, because your emotions usually will go away. Sometimes they can be a bit prolonging. They can last maybe even a month or a bit longer, but it still doesn't mean that you should allow them to come between you and the people who are close to you, the people you really care about. So yeah, that's the name of the game, right? Because life is incredibly short and relationships are one of the most important things. So just don't allow your emotions to come between you and those really important relationships in your life. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys. This is something I'm really passionate about because, as I said, I've witnessed this while growing up, and yes, at times I've even unfortunately been guilty of it myself. And it's just really unfortunate when we allow our emotions to hurt people that we actually care about. And especially, it's even more unfortunate when they didn't even cause those emotions within us, right? It's like when people are in relationships and they get home from work and they're asking each other how their day went, and then one of them is suddenly being really angry and wanting to cause a fight just because they had a stressful day at work, and their partner didn't cause that stressful day for them, right? So why are they being short and angry and impatient with them? It makes no sense. It's one of the stupidest things we can do. So always value your relationships over your temporary emotions. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Truly hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Arrivederci.